Waldrop is back from Evio Labs. EVIO is their stock symbol, eviolabs.com. They are the cannabis testing and standardization company. There's only a few of them in the entire country. And of course, since this is such an interesting investment vehicle, we're going to spend a little bit of time on it. But they're the premier provider of analytical testing, advisory services, and research for the cannabis industry. Will, great to have you along, man. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, Sully. Good to see you. Good to see you, Rusty, again.
Good to see you. So, you should be on interviewed with Kronberg.
Well, he should. I told
him.
Come on down. There's a couple of shows I'm going to put him on.
Yeah.
And I told him.
Fun.
Well, I told him that he's going to be on America Trends with Amy Fuller, and I thought that he should be great on Live High Live. But here's the bottom line: when you see that, Will, I find this cap on the ground this week, and I realize it's standardized, branded. Recreational marijuana, just like cigarettes, but like finding a pack of Camels on the bottom. The difference is in the tobacco industry, you've got all kinds of warning labels, you've got all kinds of childproof packaging, and that's starting to come out. And you guys are a big part of that. So for the people that didn't listen to you or hadn't heard you before and hadn't seen you here, talk about a little bit of Evio Labs to us, because that's exactly the business you're in.
Absolutely. Evio Labs is the largest national testing company for cannabis. So we have operations in 5 states: Oregon, California, Massachusetts, Colorado, and Florida. We also have operations up in Edmonton, Alberta. And that's our job. Our job is to ensure that cannabis is safe before it goes to public for consumption purposes, so that when you're going into a dispensary, you know what you're getting is going to be clean and easy for you to take.
You ever find bad stuff? You just go, "Oh my God, this is poison." Or even the answer, by the way.
By the way, what is the bad stuff? I mean, what are you guys testing for, and what are you standardizing specifically?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing we test for is potency, right? How strong is it? And if you're a medical patient, you're looking for something that's pretty potent, right? 100 milligrams or more to treat whatever symptoms you are. If you're a recreational user, you've never used it before, you need to ensure that it's a small I'll say an introductory dose, 2.5 to 5 milligrams. But beyond potency, we're looking for things like impurities, aspergillus, mold, mildew, looking for pesticides. There's 66 pesticides in the state of California that we look for. If it's like the Willie's Reserve, if it's an infused item, like an infused product, we're looking for residual solvents. We want to make sure that there's nothing in that product that can harm you as you put it on your body or you consume it.
So basically, has there been a best practices gold standard for this? Or are you guys sort of the pioneers? You're creating this, as the industry is growing, correct?
Absolutely. All of our labs are ISO accredited. That means an independent body has come in and confirmed that we have the best practices, standardized practices across all of our facilities. And that's one of the nice things about Evio Labs is all of our labs use the same methods. So whether you go to a lab in Massachusetts, go to a lab in Berkeley, California, you know that product is going to be tested the same. Yeah. And why it's also important, if you're Willie's Reserve, and you mentioned that you have a cultivator here in California who's manufacturing that product for Willie's Reserve. Well, it's probably a different cultivator, a different licensee in a different state. So as a licensor like Willie's Reserve, they want to ensure that product is tested to the utmost consistency no matter where they sell that product.
Mm-hmm. So they can take a little snippet of Willie's Reserve mother plant and kind of go stick it on another plant, so they get the same strain. Hey, do you find fewer cooties on the plants that are grown indoor versus outdoor? Pesticide, bugs and stuff outside, and pesticides more, but indoor you wouldn't think you'd need pesticides and stuff.
Well, you wouldn't think so, but you're right. Outdoor plants, we see anywhere from, in a market like California right now, 15 to 20% is tainted with pesticides. And that's just because of the historical way it was grown. In Oregon, before regulation, the numbers were the same. Post-regulation, we were down to 2 to 3% tested pesticides. In a lot of cases, it wasn't the grower's fault. Cross-contamination, soil, things like that they didn't have any control over, and unfortunately, their crops were impacted.
What other plant do they do this to?
Yeah, is there any, they should be doing it to all the plants.
Like broccoli? Am I getting weird infected broccoli or something?
Yeah, the Evio broccoli the broccoli testing is in another part. It's in Central California, by the way. Hey, talk about the cannabis testing market. Do we have any numbers on, look, you've got $1 billion market for recreational and medicinal marijuana. Does anybody idea what the numbers are for cannabis testing market? Because that's obviously a moving target, but you guys are growing, to be sure.
Absolutely. As the industry continues to grow, numbers are projected anywhere from $850 million to $1.4 billion just in North America alone. So it is a huge marketplace, just as cannabis itself. Cannabis alone is probably going to go over $40 billion over the next 4 to 5 years. Testing is going to grow side by side Because one thing to keep in mind, Sully, testing's mandated in every single state in which we operate. So this isn't something that's a nice to have; it's a must have in all the jurisdictions.
I want one. Are you franchising out or something? Is there a little like a food truck pulls up? How about a lab truck? I pull up to your farm.
Well, why do you need it though? I mean,
I want to be in on this $40 billion tidal wave of money that's coming through.
Well,
put a lab coat on, Dr. Russ. Coming to test your weed,
Dr. Russ.
Are you starting up other facilities? Because hurry up.
Yeah, talk about the labs. Talk about your labs itself, Evio Labs. By the way, his name is Will Waldrop. He is the CEO of Evio Inc. EVIO is their stock symbol. They are publicly traded, and Evio Labs is the name of the company. Cannabis and hemp testing services. Talk about the lab itself. How'd you guys start? How'd you get into the business?
Absolutely. Well, we formed Evio Labs back in 2014. Started in the state of Oregon. It was the first state of any size to go legal, both medically and recreationally, that had a mandated program. I know that Colorado was the very first state, Washington right behind. Oregon made perfect sense for Evio to move into, and we've been focusing on growing in those targeted key markets. California right now is the market to be in. Right now we have a lab in Berkeley, California, fully updated with the latest Shimatsu equipment. We're soon to open up our lab in Humboldt, up in the largest growing area in the world. And then we'll be focusing on Southern California, Palm Desert, Los Angeles, Orange County, the heart of in the city of Costa Mesa. So we're really focused right now in California. As everyone knows, it went recreational on January 1st of this year. It's a $2 billion medical economy, growing to over $6 billion economy when you add recreational over the next 4 to 5 years.